Welcome to Deep Roots, Open Skies, a podcast dedicated to exploring the defining moments that shape our lives. I'm your host, Lakisa. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Deep Roots, Open Skies. I'm your host, Lakisa, and today we're discussing a topic just as hot as a fresh batch of cookies straight out of the oven. Marital roles. You know, the age-old question, who does what in a marriage? Is it all about the roles we assign, or do we just wing it? Let's get cozy, grab that cup of coffee or wine, no judge me here, and let's unravel this together. So I want you to think about this. You're in love, the world feels like a romantic comedy, and you're planning that beautiful wedding with Pinterest boards galore. But then, bam, reality hits. You start to think, wait, who's going to do the dishes after the wedding cake is devoured? Well, you're not really think about that, but it will become a subject area for beginners. Now, I don't know about you, but I grew up witnessing my mom do all things. She was like a superhero, cooking, cleaning, and caring for us kids while my dad was off working, cutting the grass, and washing the car. I mean, seriously, who's the real MVP here? Oh, and let me mention that my mom also worked 40 hours plus weeks, too. But guess what? My dad thought that my mom's place was in the kitchen. No, I'm not talking about the gourmet cooking classes. I'm talking about the you should be preparing those 4 to 5 course meals, and at the same time, you should be washing my clothes while I'm rooting for the football team vibe. And let me tell you, that did not sit well with me, watching from the background. Did I want to sign up for a lifetime of scrubbing pots and pans while he claims the remote control? No thanks. My mom told me, be careful what you start off doing in the beginning of your marriage, like always washing the dishes, washing everyone's clothes, etc., because that's what you will be doing throughout your marriage. So if you want to be Superwoman, watch out and be careful because it comes with consequences. So as I entered my own marriage, I was like, hold up, we need to have a chat. But did we really sit down and plan this out like a well-organized spreadsheet? Not exactly. We kind of just fell into a rhythm. I'll cook because, well, I got home first and I was hungry. He'll take care of the yard work because he enjoys playing with machinery and being a man's man, if I could say that. But then there were those days I'll come home to find him watching TV while the dishes piled up like a game of Jenga. And later on, I'll be like, so did the dishes just disappear while you were watching that latest sports documentary or something? You see, I would end up washing the dishes because I didn't like waking up to dishes in the sink. He cared less. But honestly, here's what I learned. It's not just about the tasks or duties. It's about communication. You see, roles can be tricky. They can empower us or they can trap us. Let's talk about expectations, shall we? Sometimes we think we know what our partner's thinking, but we really don't. My husband, bless his heart, had this idea that I was supposed to handle all the housework because that's what wives do. And of course, he watched his mom do that. Meanwhile, I was over there thinking, honey, you're in for a rude awakening. I'm not our moms. I prefer sharing responsibilities. So, what's the solution? Do we make a chore chart? Do we flip a coin? Or do we just keep guessing and hoping for the best? Do we throw away dishes because we don't like to wash dishes? Here's what I suggest. Let's spice things up a bit. Instead of just jotting things down, how about creating a fun visual chart? You could use a whiteboard in the kitchen or even print out a colorful chart. Think of it as a scoreboard for your household. Now here's where it gets interesting. Add a scoring system. Who loves cooking? Give them points for every successful meal. Who doesn't mind cleaning? They score for tidying up without being asked. But if your husband isn't quite on board with helping out in the kitchen, you might need to get a little creative here. How about a cooking challenge? Instead of asking him to help out, frame it as who can make the best dish competition. You cook one night, and he cooks the next. This way is not about chores. It's about culinary creativity. You can even invite friends or family to judge the meals. That would be fun. Winner gets bragging rights or a fun little trophy you can make together. If he's still a little resistant, you could also try the menu planning approach. Instead of diving straight into cooking, sit down together and plan a meal for the week. Let him pick a dish he loves. Once he invested in the selection, he might feel more inclined to pitch in. Plus, it's a great way to share the load without it feeling like a chore. Another idea, try a chore jar. Write down all the household tasks on slips of paper and place them in a jar. Keep them in the kitchen each week. You both draw tasks randomly. This way, it's a fun surprise, and nobody feels like they're being assigned boring chores. When he draws out the cooking slip, it's like fate. He just has to roll with it. And in my case, I have several there in certain spots where he have to draw it out instead of me. But that's just, a thought. And if all else fails, how about a reward system? For every task completed, he earns points that can be redeemed for something fun, a lover's night, a special dessert, or even a day off from chores. This way, it's not just about the work. It's about the fun that comes after. After a week of shared responsibilities, you should both sit down to tally up the points. Maybe he earned enough for a night out at his favorite restaurant or snagged the coveted choose the next Netflix series card. This not only incentivizes the task, but also builds anticipation for those little rewards. You could even get creative with the rewards. Consider making a fun jar filled with various activities you both enjoy. Things like going for biking, exploring a new cafe, or even having a game night with friends. The surprise element of pulling a reward from the jar adds an extra layer of excitement and keeps things fresh. And let's not forget about the power of celebration. When one of you completes a task or reaches a certain number of points, take a moment of celebration. Celebrate. It can be as simple as a high five or as elaborate as a mini celebration with music and snacks. This recognition reinforces the idea that you're both working towards a common goal, turning chores into a collaboration event rather than a burden. Also consider having a point reset every month where you both start fresh. This keeps the motivation going and allows for new opportunities to earn rewards. Plus, it prevents any feelings of competition from turning sour. After all, it's not about who has more points. It's about teamwork and enjoying the journey together. In the end, it's all about creating a positive atmosphere where both of you feel valued and appreciated. When you approach household responsibilities with creativity, humor, and a bit of friendly competition, it transforms into a shared adventure. You don't want it to feel like a chore. So as you navigate those daily tasks, remember to keep the focus on cooperation and fun. After all, a happy home is built on laughter, love, and a little bit of teamwork. So, dear listeners, as we wrap up today's episode, remember that marriage isn't about who does the cooking or who takes out the trash. It's about finding balance, having a sense of humor, and knowing that it's okay to juggle responsibilities. In the end, it's about partnership. It's about supporting each other, sharing laughs over burnt meals, and maybe even dancing in the kitchen while you prep dinner. You two, side by side, whipping up a feast while the music plays in the background. That's the magic of teamwork. And hey, if you ever find yourself in a role disagreement, just remember that a little laughter can go a long way. Seriously, humor is your best ally in navigating those tricky conversations. When you can laugh about the mess, it suddenly doesn't seem so daunting. Now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on marriage roles? Have you found a creative way to share responsibilities in your own home? Maybe you've discovered a unique approach that transforms your household dynamic. Let's share those tips. I still need learning. So feel free to reach out on our social media platforms. We love hearing from you, whether it's your creative chore solutions, funny anecdotes about cooking disasters, or tips that have worked wonders in your home. Sharing experiences not only enriches your community, but also inspires others who might be facing similar challenges. If you've enjoyed this chat, please share it with your friends, leave a review, and let's keep this conversation going. You never know who might benefit from hearing your story. Maybe you know someone struggling with household roles who could use a little encouragement or a fresh perspective. Let's spread the word and support one another. Also, don't forget to check out our upcoming episodes where we'll dive deeper into topics like communication strategies and relationships, balancing work-life dynamics, and even fun date night ideas that can help strengthen your bond. We're here to explore all aspects of love and partnership, so stay tuned. And remember, no matter how chaotic things get, and they will get very chaotic, you're not alone in this journey. And we're all figuring it out together, one meal and one chore at a time. So until next time, keep those roots deep and your skies wide open. Let's embrace the beautiful mess of life and love. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Deep Roots, Open Skies. Until next time, embrace your journey and keep exploring the possibilities.